Welcome back, Mom. This is part two of our mini series, is what I've been calling it. A really great conversation about your experience going to college and then on to graduate school. Spoiler alert, everyone. So once again, I'm Latanya Rease Miles, also known as LT, Director of Partnerships at ReUp Education, also one of the founders of the Empowering First Generation College Students Facebook group, co-founder of Black First Gen Collective, and founder and creator of First Gen and Juice on social media. And I'm joined with my mother, Gloria Rease, who is once again in my former bedroom in Alexandria, Virginia. And this is part two of our conversation. So, Mom, last time it was more of like a high level overview. I just wanted to get your take on this idea of first gen, but I appreciate you talking a bit about your experience in high school, and we'll pick up on that. Some of the feedback I'm hearing from people who have listened are number one, the importance of you talking about how racial integration impacted you. And people are very interested to hear about your experience going into the military as well. So we're going to get into that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So I want you to know we hung a memorial to you in your former bedroom.
What? Oh, look at that.
So that's your memorial in your former bedroom hanging on the wall.
Okay, you want to tell people what it is?
Well, this is it was a Christmas gift, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it actually is the invitation for the Latanya Rease Miles Special Collection at LMU. And you framed it, you sent it to me, and I thought this would be a fitting place to have it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, thanks for that. Well, and then speaking of gifts, let me see if I can pull this up real quick, because you sent me, you found and sent me a copy of your diploma.
From high school, my high school graduation. It's a little battered, isn't it?
It's a little tattered. So where'd you find this?
I was going through some paperwork from Mother and just, going through throwing things out, and there it was. Yeah.
Perfect. The universe said you needed to find it for today.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a perfect setup, because we want to go back to, you as you're on the precipice of graduation, we'll say. But I'll say one more thing, is that I've had the very unique experience of being present at both your high school graduation and your college commencement.
Absolutely. Both
I was a year old.
Undergraduate. Yeah, right?
Okay. All right, well,
not
take
quite
us
a
back.
year. You would have been
Not quite a year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
so tell us about that time, as wherever you want to begin, but you're thinking about life past high school at this point.
Like past high school?
Yeah, so you're in high school, and what was next for you? What were you thinking?
Once I graduated high school. Yeah. So, well, I was a teen mother. So what I was thinking about is how to care for us. How I was going to provide for the two of us. Yeah, I think I mentioned it last time, is that I was aspiring to go off to college, but now college is on the back burner. Because I got to get a job. So I was fortunate enough to get a job with Blue Cross Blue Shield right out of high school.
Well, hold on. I don't want to skip too far. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit. Tell me about, because at one point in the first video, you were saying how the white girls were being, mentored through that process, and you weren't. Maybe pick up from there. So you still were thinking about college.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was thinking about college, but college had to be on the back burner. So I'm actually still in high school. Is that what you're talking about? And thinking about what is going to happen in the future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, and maybe I can, take even another step back further because, um, basically I had 2 full years of high school, ninth grade, 10th grade. Then I
Okay.
found out I was pregnant in the 11th grade.
Oh, okay. Okay. There we go. Interesting.
Okay.
So
And
right
then,
when people are thinking about applying for colleges, you find out you're pregnant.
mhm,
Okay.
right. And then because you couldn't go to school while you were pregnant, I dropped out for my junior year and I went to night school. So I finished my 11th grade in night school. Don't remember a whole lot about it. I mean, a little bitty English book, probably math because I like math. So I remember some things about math class. I don't even know how long it was. But so school started in September. I think it was October that I found out that I was pregnant and then kind of almost immediately dropped out of school. Now, some of the girls who were in school who were pregnant were trying to like push it along, pretend like they weren't pregnant and cover things up and still go to school. But I didn't want to have that experience,
Mm.
so I said, I'm just going to enroll in night school and just go ahead and finish up. So again, I don't even know how long night school was, but I finished the 11th grade in night school. And I was determined that I wanted to graduate with my graduating class. Um, so, went back to school in the following fall, to finish up and to graduate with my class, which I felt was it was a big accomplishment for me. It was something that I really wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
was to have that experience of graduating from school. But there were no more discussions really about college. It's like I don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
figure this one out. And really no one to talk to about it. What to do next, what was the next steps? Because of course, in my family, the next logical step is get a job.
Okay.
And so my last year in high school, your grandmother actually babysat you, your father's mother,
Oh, Nana.
and Nana,
Okay.
and I would push the stroller up to Columbus Street in the morning and drop you off and get back to go to school. So that was my routine. Get up in the mornings, get you dressed, take you up to her house, come back down and go back to school. So needless to say, my senior year was not an ordinary
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I was also working in the evenings.
Wow.
Um, which was right down the street from the house. What's there now? I guess Dave's Corner is there now. But there used to be a place where, because there was a time when you had babies in the hospital, they would take photos of the kids. I don't know, did they sell them or give them to the parents? I can't remember which.
Oh, I
And
remember this. I remember you telling me
right.
about this. Yeah.
Right. So I worked there. They were contracted with the Alexandria Hospital and probably other hospitals too, but they did the actual photo processing of the photos, and
Yeah.
I operated the machines that cut the photos because you got a 5x7, and then the little small ones, and so there was a machine that actually um, had a template for doing that. And I operated that machine. So that's what I did in the evenings after school. So, my senior year really was not about, or even, thinking about the possibility of going on to college or even having conversations with anyone, or meeting with counselors. None of that happened for me
Mm.
because, I'm managing being a teenage mom and having to work and just all of that. But deep in me, I wanted to go to college. And so I
Mm-hmm.
did say that this is something that I will do. I'll take some classes on the side. And it took me a couple years to think about how that could happen. I didn't enroll in any community colleges in Alexandria. I didn't, go to Nova or any, because for some reason I wasn't thinking community college. I wanted like 4-year college is what I was
Wow.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking community college. So yeah, but like I said, after graduating, I did get a job. I worked in DC, and then because I don't know, very shortly after graduating, might have even been before graduating, I had my own apartment. I
Okay.
moved out of the house. I think it was just before graduating. Um, so I had rent to pay and, all of those kinds of things. And we were in Shirley Duke.
Mm-hmm. At an apartment
And
complex.
yeah. And befriended after a couple years there, befriended this couple who were in the military. And they were saying, because life, this was not for me. Whatever was happening in Alexandria for me was standing still. It's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to leave the city actually, because Alexandria's never been my city. I never felt home to me,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the time I told people I was from DC and not Alexandria, right? So yeah, this couple, and we talked, and they said, they'll pay the Army, they'll pay you, and you can go to college. There's a tuition, they'll pay your tuition, and just having a conversation with them. And so that was my goal. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. That's what I want to do.
Question. When you made that decision back in high school to stop in 11th grade and go to night school and then finish, do you remember what that conversation was like with grandma? Because it sounded like you were making all these decisions on your own. Were you, or were there conversations with grandma, and what was that like?
I don't remember having a conversation with her. My mother was really very disappointed that I was pregnant. And actually, for almost the whole 9 months that I was pregnant, she tried to hide me. She bought me great big tent coats, so people wouldn't know I was pregnant. Yeah. So I think it was a big disappointment for her. She was expecting more. And so I don't remember us having conversations like that about, what will be your next step or what will you do, or, any of that. I don't remember us talking about that. So these were decisions that I was making on my own. And like I said, by the time, just before I graduate, I'm out of the house anyway.
Yeah.
I'm on my own, so she and I.
A whole 18 years old? Something like
18. Yeah, I was 18 when I moved into Charlotte. And actually, I had moved out prior to that, but was living in Miss Hook's basement. I rented out her basement, just because home was just a little unbearable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was 18 when I got my first apartment. And I think I probably had to wait until I was 18 before I could get an apartment.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And like I was working. Like I said, I was working, got a job right out of high school and everything, full-time job right out of high school. So no, she and I didn't have those conversations. Yeah.
So about how old were you when you did join the military?
I was 21.
21 in the Army.
Uh-huh.
So it's fair to say that in addition to the job security, that the part of the decision to go had to do with being able to get a college education. Is that
Oh,
I don't want to.
absolutely. That was my primary, is that I
Mm,
wanted to get a when she said that they will pay for you to go to college, because I think probably in all of these conversations that we were having, I may have been saying to them my desire to go to college. It may have
mm,
been part of the conversation that we had. And I remember her saying, pointing out that they would pay for you to go to college. And um yeah, and as well, you got an income coming in every month. You got a place to stay. She ran the list on me. You got a place to stay. What I did not count on was what would happen with you,
right.
right? So, um, what I found out is that you could not go with me,
All
and
these antiquated policies, right, about women and
oh
mothering.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, you right. So unmarried woman could not take a child with her in the military. The
Mm-hmm.
child could not be with you in the military. Now, of course, not basic training, but I was thinking, after I got
After.
out of basic training, but that they wouldn't allow that, right? So I actually had to sign your custody over to mom.
Are you serious? Like officially? I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, I had to turn custody.
So if you were 21, so I was 4.
Right,
Okay. It was just
right,
as
yeah.
I'm like about to start. I was definitely in preschool, but headed toward kindergarten at some point.
I think you
Yeah,
started kindergarten. Did you start kindergarten in Texas?
I did. Eastwood Heights.
Yeah. So my goal was, how could I get Latanya with me? What do I
Mm-hmm.
have to do?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I got married.
Well, when did you start taking college classes, and how did that come about?
Yeah, I started taking college classes on campus. So, and I'm sorry, on base, on
Okay.
base. Um, because no transportation to get to the school, plus all during the day I'm doing my military stuff, right? I don't know exactly when I started. It was who was this fight? Was it, when did Ali fight Liston? No, that was 64 or
What?
something like that.
And
i'm
and
telling
this was
i'm
in.
telling you this. uh
Oh, I was just gonna say this is in Texas. Everybody, at this point,
okay.
we're in Texas. But go ahead.
So, and that's important because I was studying the night Ali was fighting.
Which fight?
Whoever he was fighting, I'm trying to remember what fight that was.
We'll have to look it
And
up.
yeah, we have to look that up. I don't remember because I was listening to the fight and I was trying to study economics, and I'm listening to the fight on, I don't even know, it may have been on the radio. Oh my God. Or, in the background, somebody's TV. It wasn't on my TV if it was a TV, but,
Mom, you sounding real
that,
old right now. Like
I
I was in the
know, I
log cabin
know,
and I had the candlelight. I was listening.
I know, right? Oh God. But I remember during that period, whenever that was like during my first session of classes, which were at on campus at UTEP. I'm sorry, on
On base.
base at Fort Bliss, Texas. Yeah,
And so
yeah.
would you go, remind me again, would you go, you said you would go during the day or in the evening? Like
I would do it. It would be at night. Yeah, at night, because during the day I'm doing, my
your
military stuff,
military
military
stuff.
training, or
Right.
yeah,
Right.
whatever it was. So yeah.
But was I with you at that time or no? Not yet.
No, 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 not yet, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you remember what classes you were taking and what?
I remember taking an economics class. Yeah,
Okay.
microeconomics. Yeah. Um, what else was it? Well, I had to do, it was like core classes, so
Yeah.
probably like some science, math, something like that. Oh, some algebra and trig, I think it was, some math. Yeah.
And what was that like for you? Were the classes like what you expected? Did you feel like you were in college?
I did not feel like I was in college. The classes were an extension of classes that I had already taken,
Mm,
so I was just studying and, getting credits is, what I'm thinking. Studying and getting credits, but it definitely did not
feel
at
like
all feel
college.
like college.
Yeah.
But, I felt good that I was taking college courses.
Okay. Making progress.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, did you take classes on campus while you were in Texas, or the whole time it
No,
was
I
all
didn't.
on base?
Yeah, it was all on base. I didn't take on campus classes until I went to South Carolina, Midlands.
Now, before we get to Midlands, tell me at this time, what was your intended major? Were you even thinking about that?
Who has a major? A major what? A major situation? No, I'm just taking college classes because I don't know anything about going to college. I don't know that,
Deep.
there's you declare a major. This is the thing you really want to focus on, and the classes that you're taking are geared towards that end result. I don't know that. I don't know what college is. I don't know what college is about, right? I just know that I want to go. And so, no, but I think at some point, um, I decided I knew that I was interested in drafting and architectural engineering. I knew that because, I developed this love for drafting when I was in high school in that shop class. And I knew that that's something that I wanted to do. But I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know what I was supposed to take. I didn't know I was supposed to tell somebody this so that they can direct me
Mm-hmm.
towards it. I didn't know any of those things, right?
Oh,
And um, yeah. And so when I finally, said, okay, this is what I need to do, I don't know how I did the research, but I found out about Midlands and I got their course, what is it called, Latonya? The,
the course catalog.
yeah, the course catalog. Yeah, I got the course catalog and I saw architectural engineering in there and I saw the classes that you had to take in order to get there, so that's when I started focusing. Yeah.
You did so much on your own. I'm just wondering, where was the advising? Where was the, okay, we'll just
Yeah.
let that stay out there. Well,
Yeah. But then
eventually,
I didn't know. I was ignorant about advising too. I didn't know that there was somebody that I needed to talk to make this happen. Right.
yeah, I get
I
that.
was, yeah.
Now, was it true that the military paid for all of this, or did you have to pay out of pocket? Do you recall having to pay out of pocket for these classes you were taking on base?
Yeah. So I got a stipend to take the courses.
Mm,
So they paid. But, it ended up that I ended up having to pay my own college tuition because um, there's, hmm, there's a expiration date, I guess, for lack of anything else to say. Once you get out of the military, you have
oh,
to
you meant later on.
later on.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
We'll come back to that.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we'll
okay,
come back to that. But
okay.
while I was taking these courses, I was getting a stipend
Stipend.
to go.
Okay.
They paid for my books, they paid my tuition, just all of that. Right.
Now, do you recall what your fellow anything about your fellow classmates still on base? Like, were there other women or other Black people or people of color? Do you recall anything about who you were in class with?
Not really, but I do get a sense that it was predominantly men. I don't remember being uh, I don't remember there being many, if any, other women, because and there may have been other women who were taken different classes than I was taking.
Okay.
But I don't really recall any in the actual classes that I was taking.
And that makes sense. There weren't many women in the military in the especially the type of work that you were doing. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, at some point, I know. Okay, you started off taking classes. I'm not there. At some point, I do. I'm able to live with you in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Did you continue taking classes, or did you stop taking classes when I came to live with you?
Yeah. I think I have one more class session after you came. So I didn't like continue on because then it meant in the evenings, when I would be taking classes, no one was available.
Right.
There wasn't a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
I think I finished up one term and then realized, okay, this is not doable. Because
Maybe I was with the Winfreys or something for a little bit.
oh yeah, that's possible. That is
Mm-hmm.
possible. Probably that last session we probably were doing Winfrey.
Yeah, I
The
could see
way
that happening.
Mrs. Winfrey was really very encouraging.
Oh, good.
She was a very encouraging person
Mm-hmm.
for me, to help me along. I remember her saying to me, "You don't need to buy this girl all these clothes, these toys. You need to be saving for her to go to college."
Wow.
She told me that.
Oh, look at that.
I should have
Thank you, Miss
listened
Winfrey.
to.
Well,
Yeah.
eventually we leave Texas and go to South Carolina.
Yeah.
And this is where I have more memories of you taking classes at Midlands Tech, and I would love to hear more about that. I have a very specific memory, but how did that come about? And did that involve you having to like transfer credits or anything like that? But tell us
Yeah.
about that experience.
Yeah, most of my credits did not transfer to Midlands. Yeah. They did not transfer. So it was like starting all over again. I had to take classes I'd already taken. Oh, yeah. So no. No transfer. But, I think that Midlands also, had recruiters
Okay.
on base. And so that's how I heard about Midlands and their architectural engineering program. And it was like, okay, let's focus. And so I was taking classes. I'm trying to think. I kind of think I went to campus initially at Midlands. I think Midlands had like an evening program or something on campus.
Okay.
And so I went on campus after work to Midlands. And where were you? Probably at Pi's house.
Probably, but who knows? I would put money on that.
Yeah. And so did that, for a couple of years. I loved it. I mean, I really love Midlands Technical College.
Oh, tell us. Look at this look on your face. What did you love about it? Did you love the college? Did you love what you were learning, or just break it down for us?
Yeah, kind of both. I like the architecture of the buildings. They were, very sleek, and the lines were symmetrical, and modern. Yeah, so and lots of windows, lots of glass windows. And so I just love walking down those hallways and passing the windows and looking outside and feeling I'm in college.
Now you felt like you're in college.
I felt like I was in college. Yeah. I wasn't just taking classes, right? So yeah, I really enjoyed Midlands. And then, ended up going there full time.
Did you?
Yeah, after I got out. Because I got out. Yeah. when did I get out? 79, and we left Carolina in 82 or
82,
something.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know all that. But did you talk to anyone when you're at Midlands? At this, it sounds again, still sounds like you're navigating all this by yourself and doing your own advising. Do you recall talking to either like a counselor, advisor, or even a professor?
I'm thinking I must have talked to a counselor because, then I was able to, that's what I knew I needed to focus on the classes that related to the degree I was seeking.
Okay,
And that I, made the decision that what I wanted to do was architecture.
okay,
Although I don't, recall those conversations, I do remember having a conversation with someone about it, kind of
okay.
guiding me towards the courses that I need to take, and letting me know that none of the classes that I took at UTEP would transfer over. Basically was, starting all over again.
Oh my good. Do you recall a favorite class?
Yes, my drafting class. I loved it. I
That was mine.
absolutely loved it. Yeah, it was. What I loved about it, again, were the tools of the trade, the T-square and the scale and, the pencils. I just love those little pencils. I went out and brought me one of those big black
Those cases?
cases, yeah, so that I could carry. So I enjoyed just sitting at my desk, and there was a way that you put the paper on your desk and you put the tape on the edges so it wouldn't slip or slide or anything like that, and even it out. And the instructor would give like illustrations of like a cog, and you had to draw this cog based on measurements and things like that. And it was just like, oh, I just loved it.
Now, is this when you had like graph paper? Because I kind of remember graph paper.
I don't remember being, and that probably was because I still I like to use graph paper now. So that probably was graph paper.
I feel like there's graph paper around.
Yeah, and it probably was because everything had to be so measured, but the paper that I remember is clear paper that when we put on our desk, but I'm sure there probably was draft paper, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like graph paper. I'm sorry,
Graph paper with the little boxes, little squares.
little
Yeah.
boxes. Yeah, that was great.
No,
I remember that.
you remember? Yeah. Well, another thing, and it's such an interesting perspective to watch a parent be in school, and I just and so I again had that really unique opportunity, and as you know, for me, I just loved your textbooks,
Mm-hmm.
and I just love smelling them, and I would read them on the side. I think you and I believe it was like probably your marketing, one of your marketing classes or something like, yeah. I just remember like little case studies or something in there.
And that was really the exciting part too, was just going to the bookstore and getting your books, your assigned books, and picking those up, and they're big and heavy, and you got a lot of them, and it was exciting. I really loved that.
Well, it kind of feels like you're really learning, right? You got these heavy books. You're like, I'm getting an education.
That's right.
Now, did you outside of school? Okay, so you mentioned how like in Texas, Mrs. Winfrey was supportive of you. Outside of school, when you were at Midlands Tech in South Carolina, did you feel supported for your college going?
Um, kind of. I think Michael supported in South Carolina. Michael was pretty supportive of me
That
going
was my
to.
stepfather, y'all.
Yeah, Michael was pretty supportive of me going to school and pushing me and, you know, encouraging me and saying, saying you can do this. And, I think he was really proud of the fact that I was going to school
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's something that he wanted. I think he had started because I think he started at University of South Carolina, but did
No,
not finish.
stop
Yeah,
it. Stop
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm learning
Uh,
today.
yeah, he didn't finish. He went there, I think, on some athletic scholarship or something.
We're going to have to send him this video.
and did not finish. I think his mom died, like probably mm, just as he was starting. I think, yeah, and it was pretty devastating for him. So he didn't finish, and then he got the good job at the post office.
Literally.
Literally.
Wow.
So I think he was supportive in that because that was something that he probably is aspired to do, but did not do. Right. So yeah, he was
We're going to make
supportive.
him listen to this. Shout out to Michael Finch.
Okay.
Okay, well that's good because what if you didn't have that support? What if you had a partner that was, jealous or controlling or, like what you doing? Why are you doing that? That would have been a different experience for you.
It wouldn't have been a partner because education really was very important to me. And
Mm-hmm.
so anyone who did not, I mean, you didn't have to really push me to say, encourage me, but you couldn't get in the way of it.
Ooh. Say it again,
Yeah.
Mom. Say it again.
It was
I,
just something that I was determined that I wanted to do, and if the person that I'm in relationship with, whatever the relationship is, could not support that, then you could not support me and you couldn't be in a relationship.
then you had to go
Yeah, you had to go.
to the left. That is amazing. Okay, so I'm also learning for the first time today that you went to school full time. I don't think I knew that.
Mhm.
Can you talk about that decision and what was like if you were going to school full time? What else were you doing? What was that like?
Yeah, I only did 1 year because that's all I could afford. Um, because the stipend from the military covered the education, but there were other expenses that I had, that was not covered. And so that was a great experience. And so it was after I got out of the military
Mm-hmm.
and was discharged in 79. And so, I already had been taking classes at Midlands. Again, college education was really the primary reason I came in. So let's focus on it. Let's get it done. And so I went full time. Um, but I had not worked out the finances, how to make, because, I purchased a house in South Carolina. What was I, 24 when I bought that house?
Wow.
But because um, I think there was partially financial aid too with it, but the money wasn't coming as regular as I wanted, as I was thinking it would come,
Yeah.
which caused me to be behind in other things like mortgage on the house and utilities and all of that kind of stuff. And financially, it just got to be a burden. So I only did 1 year of that because then, had to figure out how to get a job, Actually, I think, so no. So maybe I did 2 years of it because I got out in January of 79.
That early? So wow. Okay.
I got
And
out January
we didn't
5th,
leave till 90. I mean, 82.
82. Right, 82. So maybe it was 2 years of college and trying to figure out how to juggle that. And going, so I probably did 2 years full time at Midlands. And then by that time, okay, finances are really bad and we got to figure out what we're going to do. And so then it was, selling the house. I think did I send you, did you come to mom before I actually, or did we come together?
We came together, but there was well, there was a period where I went back to Virginia and came back to South
Came
Carolina,
back.
and then we
Okay.
left together.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So
Mhm.
by, 82, it was like, okay, all else is failing. We got to go.
Were you
Go back
working
to Virginia.
part-time?
I was working for, it was really hard. I was working for Harvey Golden, as a matter of fact. Oh,
Oh,
and then Broadwater. Yeah. Yeah. So went to, okay, I think I got the sequence. Is
okay.
that I
What's
went to
this?
school full time right after in 79. Went a full year. Then finances started getting kind of tight. Then I looked for a job, got a job with Harvey Golden, uh, the law firm, and then got recruited away from there with Broadwater, Tom Broadwater law firm. But while I was with Harvey, I was part time, but
In school.
in
No,
school,
work in
but
school. Okay, got it.
part
Hmm.
time, yeah, part time school, full time work. I was there. Um, but yeah, but when I went to Broadwater, I just stopped going to school when I went to work for Thomas Broadwater.
Okay, question though, because uh, clearly you would have qualified for some kind of financial aid. Do you recall applying?
Who
Right?
knows about
Or
financial aid? What
student
language is that?
loan?
Is that French? Oh God.
So
But
that
I
just you just
probably
didn't
would
know
have.
about
I
that.
just didn't. I didn't know about it. Yeah, I didn't know about anything about
I'm writing it. That's a quote. Financial aid. Is that French? I'm writing that down. That's the quote of the day.
it.
So basically, you're financing your own education.
I am.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm not necessarily financing the education because military
Oh, okay. It's the rest of your life.
is the rest of my life. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, and yeah. So then, by 82, we're on a train back to Alexandria. Sold the house, and that was a lull for a long time. After I left Midlands, it was a long lull before I went back to school again. And
Well,
I went to
that's
Trinity.
gonna be a cliffhanger.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, I do want to ask because eventually you do transfer to a 4 year, but before you transfer to a 4 year, did you take any other classes in between Midlands Tech and you going to a university?
No.
Okay.
No.
Mm-mm. Okay. Interesting thing. I remember it wasn't that long ago, Mom. You and I were talking about Midlands. You were reflecting, and it seemed like you had this realization that Midlands was a 2 year school. Like you didn't
Mhm.
even realize it was a 2 year school. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Um, I think that also plays a part in sort of the not knowing and being first gen and not knowing different institution types. How did you not know you were at a 2 year school or a community college, I guess?
Uh, yeah. How did I not know? I don't know. I don't know that I investigated that
Hmm.
deeply, or what I was looking at was, like I said, they had recruiters on campus, and what the recruiters said, these are the courses that we offer, and so there was no, and I didn't know the questions to ask. I did not know the questions to ask. And no one was volunteering information. So if you didn't know, you didn't know, It's, through that process, of course, now looking back, I know the significance and the importance of having a mentor, right? Someone to give you some guidance, some direction. Otherwise, you're kind of out there willy-nilly like I was. I was out there just trying to take some college courses because this is something that I had aspired to do. And not knowing that, there are classes that you take that lead to a degree. I wasn't even necessarily, I don't think, looking for a degree. I was just taking college classes. Yeah. That
And
sounds
happy to
like a
be in
book or
college.
and happy, really thrilled and happy and excited, especially at Midlands. I was really very happy too because it felt like I was in college, and for going there that full term, I felt on par with the other people who were there. I could certainly hold my own, and I'm realizing a dream that I have. At UTEP and on base at Fort Bliss, it was just taking classes. But when I got to Midlands, I really felt like I was in college. And I definitely did not know Midlands was a 2-year college, a 2-year school. I
That's
did not know.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. I remember, though, one of the professors, and probably my drafting professor, I told him that I really liked drafting and, what I aspired to do was architectural engineering. And he's the one who told me it would take 7 years to college to do that. Right. So, but he didn't say it's only 2 years here.
Here. You're like, well, I'm going to be here for 7 years.
Okay, right. Absolutely. So, yeah.
And did you obtain an AA degree from there? Like, did you get a certificate or any kind of? It
I
doesn't
didn't
sound
complete it.
like.
No,
Okay.
I didn't complete it. No, I didn't. Because it was just one full year, some little part-time things,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and maybe one full year. And yeah, I didn't complete it.
Well, like I said, this is a cliffhanger, y'all. We're going to pick up next time on you transferring to a 4-year. How long did that take, first of all? And then what became of your goals and aspirations of drafting, and what school did you go to, and what happened after that? Sound
that's
good?
a lot. That's a lot. Sounds good.
All right. So
Alrighty.
thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you are enjoying this. Is there some kind of award we can win? Can you win a Pulitzer for this type of stuff? I hope so.
Of course we can. Yes,
Of course we can. We're gonna make an award and then win that award.
Win it. That's right. Nominate ourselves.
Nominate ourselves and win.
That's right. We will do that.
All right.
So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Love you.